Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You're in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out with me in here and follow me on my sewing journey. And I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Today, we're going to work on the Prim Embroidery Quilt by Lori Holt for Riley Blake. So I'm really excited about that. Yay! Everybody says, yay, hi, I'm here, I'm here. Good to see you guys. Our girls are here. There are girls, aren't they? Let's take a look down there. There's Miss Frito and there's Miss Dottie. She's hiding. We'll come over here so you guys, there she is. There's my girls. You guys ready for your Dave biscuits? Are you? Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm sorry. I was a little bit tardy this morning. My bad. I couldn't get a parking space. Does that work? Here you go, Frito. Good girl. You guys want one more? Dave sends plenty. Yes, he does. He's in charge of the Frito and Dottie fan club. Yes, he is. All right. And so now it is time to go brush our teeth. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right. Look at that pretty girl without her donut. Y'all, she's just healing up so well. Oh, my goodness. We are going to go around the room and out the door and get my girls out of any kind of danger of cords. So here we go. You ready to go? Mama's got to step over this other camera cord. All right. Let's go, girls. Come on. That's good, girls. That's good, girls. There's yours, Miss Dot Dot. All right, and Frito. All right, we'll see you guys later. Okay, awesome. Got that taken care of. Y'all, I got in some fabric yesterday, and it's a Timeless Treasures. Oh, you tried to order the Celtic Love Quilt Girl from Sweet Pea and forgot your password, never got the reset email, customer service sent back. Well, it's dark over there. We'll see. Yeah. They're on the other side of the planet, right? So Frito and Dottie, Peggy says, yay. Anyway, my 9-year-old grandson is aspiring to be a guitar player. So he got an acoustic guitar from a fellow church member in the band. And now he's also, Grammy and Grandpa bought him an electric guitar for Christmas. Kind of a starter. But anyway, I was going to make a pillowcase, so I wanted to show you guys this. So it has an electric and an acoustic on this. I had a hard time finding this fabric. I don't know if it's in print anymore, but I did scrounge it up on Etsy. So it came yesterday, and that's really cool. We're a little, what are we at here? I think I could make it up. I don't think it would make it for Christmas. So I'll just hold on to it. I'll make it up and send the kids their pillowcases whenever. Yeah, Vicky says perfect. It's great looking fabric. I know. I love it. I really do. I think it's awesome. It's so funny. So just a little personal. I know you're not here to hear my life, but it's my channel, so I'm going to tell you. So the kids are only around church music all the time because my son is a pastor. So they listen to, if they listen in the car, it's religious music. But for the most part, it's all, church music, which is great. No problem with that. But so the younger one, the 9-year-old, and I were FaceTiming, and he says, I've learned some chords, Grammy. And I said, well, show me what you got, right? And so he does that E sharp, and I wouldn't know an E sharp from, a B flat, but not by ear anyway. I can tell what it is on the sheet music. But so he plays this E sharp chord, and I said, oh, that's the first note from A Horse with No Name by America. Have you ever heard that song? And he goes, no, what is that? So I pulled it up on YouTube. And so he's listening to it on YouTube, and he says, that's an awesome song. I said, I know. I'm sure my son is going to be like, Mom. Love that tune. Anyway. But that was the first thing I thought of when I heard that note. Oh, okay. So let's talk about stitching. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff. You love hearing about my life, Angela? Okay. Live vicariously, right? Oh, my goodness. Christian rock is amazing to listen to. I know. But I think, moderation in all things. That's my go-to right there. Let me get a sip of my coffee. And then, speaking of Christian stuff, I'm going to show you this very cool shirt I'm wearing. This is the latest from Be Inspired Tees. And I love this. I think it's fabulous. And she's got, I have a link to it right below in the description box. She's got And that's Sheila. She's one of us. She's a stitcher, but she's got a little t-shirt gig on the side. And oh, Beverly, you and your husband manage a contemporary Christian station. How nice. That's awesome. Yeah, Grammys get to share. That's a rule. That's right, Dana. We can do what we want. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so she's got a whole V-neck line on these two. So you can just go through there and look around, and my viewers all get 15% off. Get onto my link and jump over there. So very, very nice. Love this. Love this. Pam says it makes us feel more like friends. Yeah, we're friends. We're friends for sure. Okay, so yesterday we had our friends Mike and Candace pop in. I got a text yesterday morning, like 7:25, and she's like, "We're coming through San Antonio from Orlando." And they arrived a little bit like 9:30 right after we got off. And so that's right. Grammys can get away with it, Teresa. You're absolutely right. So we finished yesterday here, you and I, and then I spent the day with them. And Candace was so sweet. Ran me to my doctor's appointment, Anyway, we had a great time. Keith broke out the grill and we did some grilling and had a great meal together. And then they spent the night in I call it our guest house. It's actually our motorhome. So they spent the night in the motorhome and they just got on the road and they are traveling to Scottsdale. So safe travels for Mike and Candace. I hope you guys have a fabulous trip. So all the way from Orlando to Scottsdale. Before they left, I said, hey, you can be in Phoenix in like 3 hours or by lunch because we've got nonstop from San Antonio to Phoenix all the time. Candace is the one who went with me to England with Sulky in 2023. And that was wonderful. We've been good friends ever since. And she's been on the Sew and Sail cruises with us. And she also comes to El Campo for our RV Sew Together. So she's been 2 years in a row. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. Very, very much fun to have friends pop in unexpectedly, right? So, okay, is Betty Boop with us this morning? Because I'm going to show you guys what she did yesterday. Ginger, I know I love this shirt too. I think it's fabulous. Thank you. So, I preach all the time to you guys, do not put your fingers in the sewing field of your embroidery machines. I see y'all in there smoothing fabrics. Candace is guilty of it. I get on her all the time. Yep, there she is. Here's Betty Boopette right there. There she is. Let me show you guys what she did yesterday. There's no gore. We don't have any of those pictures. Had her hands in the field of her 10 needle. I'm going to show you what not to do. So Betty Boop, you put it on Facebook. So I'm just going to show it with everybody what you did here. So there it is. All right. Put the needle right in the top of her finger there. Yeah, that's a bad one. She called me right after it happened. And it still had the thread through it too. Yeah, I saw that picture on her personal Facebook page. But y'all, it only takes a second for you to blink your eye and your fingers are following that hoop on the fabric and bam, and it happens. She's in a lot of pain. She's like, do I need to go to the doctor? I said, did you get all the metal out? She goes, yeah, I think so. I said, okay, then you should be fine. Well, no, she didn't get all the metal out. It was stuck in her finger. So she had to go. Yeah. Y'all, and here's the kicker. She said, I had my silicone spatula right next to the machine. So she had the tools there to prevent this. But you guys, or the purple thing, I love the purple thing. I have it right here. Oops, I just moved my other camera. I have it right here. If you guys insist on, this is that purple thing. It has a little square deal right there. If you guys insist on sticking your hands in the embroidery field, use something else as an extension of your fingers, please. You guys, yes, get a spatula just for embroidery. Y'all, and here's the thing. She knows better. And she said, I know better. She's been embroidering for years. Joanne Banco just did it like a year ago. And she had a little black dot under her finger for months. Like, that's not the embroidery machine. That's an injury from last September on my thumb. Yeah, she says I'm an idiot. Well, yeah, I kind of say, so what do you use a spatula for, VM? You use it to, there is an insistence. You don't have to do this, okay? If you tape down your fabric in your hoop or whatever, but there is an uncontrollable urge for embroiderers to take their fingers and come in here and smooth out the fabric as that needle, as the hoop is moving, right? Well, the needle doesn't move. We all know that. That's stuck on the head, whether it's a single needle or 10 needle, multi-needle. Those needles are where they are. It's the hoop that moves. And they just get in there and they want to smooth out that fabric. And all you got to do is do like this one time and pow, and it happens. So you guys, yeah, you all know better. And Joanne Banco, she said she had a little black dot in the tip of her finger for the longest time, couldn't figure out what it was as it healed. And come to find out, it was a piece of thread that was in her finger. So she's going to be, I mean, it went totally through top to bottom. It was a mess. It was bad. So just a good example of a bad example. She says, Eli says, you're not an idiot. Good example of a bad example. Yeah. Y'all, you do see me with my fingers in the embroidery hoop. You absolutely do. You do not see me with my fingers near the needle. There's a difference. Okay. And you never see me with my fingers in the field with the 10 needle. The 10 needle is a whole nother animal, you guys. So, did the same thing on your long arm. Yeah. Oh, Betty Boop's in good company. She absolutely is in good company. But you guys, please keep your fingers away from the needle. My goodness. Yeah. It was in tears. It hurt so bad after the pain block wore off. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, girlfriend. That's terrible. Did they give you a tetanus shot just on top of that to make it even more painful? A chopstick. Wooden chopsticks are great. Does the machine stop? No, not on a 10 needle. It keeps going. It doesn't care. Okay. Linda says her grandpa was born in 1900 and lost a fingernail from falling in the street and got run over by a wagon pulled by horses. My grandpa, my mother's father, he lost a finger. I think it was this right. He had a little nub when I was a little girl. I remember that on a saw. Yeah. You just, you guys, please keep your fingers away from the needle. I know sometimes you want to reach in and smooth stuff out. If you feel that insistent need, like it's a compulsion and you can't help it, before you smooth it out, stop the machine and fix it. So the other day when I was doing the all over quilting pattern for that quilting backdrop on the pot holder, that was on Monday. I felt like that fabric might get caught up under the needle, right under the hopping foot. I stopped the machine and then put the tape down. You didn't see me reach my fingers in there and hold it down flat. Good grief, no. Safety first. Safety, safety, safety. These machines will really, they can do some serious damage. So you guys, please be careful. All right, so enough about that. Let's get to stitching, Prim. I love it. Candace helped me pull my threads last night. I pulled all the fabrics. This is from the kit from Two Chicks Quilting. They're no longer available. The only thing that's available from Two Chicks right now, I believe, are the Cute Cuts rulers. I think she still has some more of these in stock if you want to have these centering rulers to trim out your blocks. And then we put all of the threads in order, and she learned the joy of being able to pull threads by storing them alphabetically. So very, very easy, fun. Then I had a bunch of threads left over from another project, and she wanted to put them away. She's a put away person. And I said, okay, she was just in her element, wrapping up the little threads, putting them up. She could look at the title of the thread, the name of the thread, and she knew exactly where it went in the little bins in there. She says, this is awesome. So it was very, very cool. Yeah, the jeweled colors are pretty, aren't they? I have to turn down my air conditioner. I got to turn down my AC, you guys, because I'm getting blown away over here and the temperature's dropping pretty quick. Going to be 77 today in our beautiful South Texas. There we go. Okay. Oh, I see some orders for Bee Inspired Tees. That's great. Love it, love it. I told Sheila, I said, these will be so successful. So she had a couple of different iterations of this shirt. And one of them, I think, was something like beautiful. She works beautifully with her hands or sews in delight, whatever, you know, there's all these different iterations. Well, I looked in my New International Bible and it didn't read like that. And I looked in the King James and it didn't read like that. So I called the expert, my son, who's a pastor and has a PhD on the topic. And I said, which one? You know, and he was like, go with delight. That works with Samuel and Isaiah and in the translation from Hebrew. And he went through the whole thing. And I'm like, oh, just pick one. Just tell me which one to do. When is Keith going to run all those cords to the ceiling? He's not, Dee Dee. I know that would require a whole lot. And part of the problem, I mean, I don't know. He's not. See, we'd have to do the whole room. The one that you showed me, Dee Dee, here's what Dee Dee's talking about. Dee Dee sent me a video of a long armor who's got a YouTube channel that all of her cords and cameras were up in the ceiling. Her husband made a, quilting chaplain. Well, hello. Thank you for being a member of our channel. Thank you for joining. So he took PVC and put this whole big rail system up above, and it had all the cameras and the cords, you know, and cameras are coming down on extensions and nothing on the floor, which is absolutely wonderful. The problem with what I have is, so hers was just around the long arm. I stitch in this corner of the room. I stitch in that corner of the room. I stitch on the long arm. I stitch over here in this. I'll just deal with the cords. So anyway. So yeah, the AC's on here. Y'all, it's humid. We are damp. It's still wet outside. So that's what your hubby did, Nancy? Yeah. So Nancy, Gifts HQ. So here you guys go. I want to give, oops, sorry, you guys. Let's give her a little bump. Nancy has a live stream right before me at 7 a.m. Central. And she's chit-chatting. Today, her video was about creating an easy gift bag, a fabric gift bag. So, you know, you can take a look at that kind of thing if you are interested. But she's got a fun little channel over there. All righty, that's on YouTube, and it's Gifts HQ. So let's get to stitching, shall we? I pulled out, this is my, I don't remember if this is my 8x12 or my 9x14 magnetic hoop. I can't remember, y'all. Let me look. It'll be close. Let's see on the inside. This is my 9x14 hoop. So I have been doing the reuse of the stabilizer that's hooked in the frame of the hoop on the multi-needle. I have that right here. Let me show you. And that's in the 8x12. I'm doing the 6x10 of this embroidered quilt. You can see my backings still in there, and that's where I trim that out. Now, when it comes time to use that hoop again, I used it the day before yesterday to make the first block for Sweetheart Street. So next time I want to use this, I'll just hoop it, and I'm going to use a very small piece of stabilizer to go right behind the block. For Prim, this is going to stay in my little Prim bucket. So this is for the 8x12 on the multi-needle. Now I've got it set up. You need a larger hoop to be able to do this, okay? And I'll get this one done. The first go is just like this, but I'm going to cut it out and leave this in the 9x14. I'm not going to take the hoop apart. And then I will use stabilizer pieces and my little magnets from Sew Tights. I have them right here. Hold on. Here's my magnets from Sew Tights, okay? And those will go on here exactly like it was on that other one. So I'm really conserving stabilizer, and that's what I like. Thumbs up, done, Scotty Dog. That's awesome. Thank you. Well, I know you were busy in the kitchen. Y'all, we have a virtual kitchen. You're in the right place. You don't need to go anywhere else, but Scotty Dog runs the kitchen. Let's get going here, shall we? I need to change my threads. I've got black on there. Now that Darla is feeling better. What's behind it now? What's behind it right now is a Juju Tear Easy Tear Away Stabilizer. Okay. So let's tap this and look here at the screen. Get you in here so you can see what I'm doing just a little bit. All right. There we go. This is the Brother Luminaire. It started out as an XP1 and it has had two updates. It's now the XP3. So I'm going to go to, and if you guys are ever looking at these, oh, you can't see my stitch count. My repair guy set it back, I think. Anyway, let me go to embroidery. I wanted to go up here to my settings, and you can tell on these machines if they have their upgrades or not in the settings. Let's see. Latest version 4.62. Oh, there's a new update on the server. I'll have to check that out. Okay. Well, anyway, can't see it. Sorry. I was looking for where it would tell me where all my, there it is, update kits. It's on page 7. Let me get you in here so you can see. If you're going to be looking at these in the store and you want to see if they are, what version these luminaires or the Solaris are, if you're going to buy one used. So it says kit 1, kit 2, kit 3, scan and cut my connection. They all have those checks. And so this is in the brains an XP3. It has a service count of 5108 since it was serviced. That's what that is. Okay. My total count is 5347178. So what is that? 5 million stitches? Yeah. 5.3 million. So no. Yeah. It's a lot. No big deal. He told me, he said, this machine has absolutely negligible sewing stitches on it. So he didn't even fiddle with that. You did the update for the Avenir. What are you supposed to calibrate this? Janma, are you talking about the Avenir or the Luminaire? The Avenir, what it did was it recalibrated the crosshair on your screen, the downward directed crosshair. All right. I'm going to go to memory, in the pocket for memory, and I sent it wirelessly. And it is the Farmhouse right here. All good until it's set. Now, I'm not going to go through and preset all the colors like I do on a multimeter. Don't forget to change my hoop size on the machine. Okay, Betsy, we'll do that. Let's go into, you don't have to. You know that? Did you know that you don't have to? So see how there's a little line around here like that? It thinks it has a smaller hoop according to this. Okay, so let me explain the difference on this, because I never do that. Let me explain the difference on this. So what you see on the screen is what you programmed into the brain. However, the sensor that's in here on the arm doesn't listen to what the brain is telling it. The sensor in here says, oh, that's a 9x14 hoop. So it knows no matter what you have over there. No, it will not. It won't tell me to change the hoop. It sure won't. How about that, Betsy? Don't we teach each other things? Isn't that cool? No, it won't tell me at all. Watch, I'll hit embroidery. Didn't tell me to change the hoop at all. See that? Oh, you love it. I know, Ginger. I love the biblical reference too. Isn't that cute? So come on in here and see how the hoop outline is smaller than the design. The machine doesn't care. Okay. Machine doesn't care. So what she's talking about, what Betsy's talking about. Let me come up here to the top so you can see it. All right, here we go. I'm going to go up here to my settings and I'm looking, see it says frame size is 6x10. That's what she's talking about. So if I tap that, and now I'll tell it it's the 9.5x14 and tell it okay. And now you can see that line. Yeah, your brain cares. Yeah, I know. That's all right. Good, your brain's still working. So see, now that hoop outline is larger than the design. Well, here's the thing. So Betsy, I never took any formal lessons on this machine. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants. And it has never told me to change it on the screen if the hoop in the arm is large enough. The hoop in the arm trumps whatever's on the screen. Okay. So there we go. Hi, Mel from Southern Maryland. Thanks for stopping in. Glad you are here. All righty, y'all. So let's get going on this. We have the first one, I believe, is fabric W. I need to change my threads. Let's see. The first one that matters, I believe, is this. So we're gonna. Why did I went in the row. I went on order. These are in order of what the machine says to do. I think it has all of the applique going at one time. Y'all, I've got to look at my I got to look at my instructions. I'm sorry. Let me pull up Prim instructions. Let's take a look at these. I'll share my screen with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about here. Yeah, fabric W is first. Okay, let's share screen, and I'm going to share my window with you. There. So here we are. This is the Farmhouse block, hoop number 6. Okay, and the first fabric is W. And so that is going to be, if you got the kit, it's the same, it's this one, the yellow gingham, okay? And it looks like we are just doing placement line, tack down, trim, okay? So none of the thread colors are going to matter until we get to step number 8. And there it is, that this is the thread that is supposed to be used right there. So it's not going to matter for the first bunches. All right, so that tells me what I need to know there. Let me remove that. So what I'm going to do is use a neutral thread. I'll just use the warm gray 6. I was going to go run and get a linen, but I don't feel like getting up and leaving y'all. So let me trim this out here. Okay. I love machine embroidery, you guys. Oh my goodness. It's the instantaneous gratification on that, right? Love it. Am I tied up? No. Okay. Now, when I do a thread color change, let me zoom you in so you guys can see. The watermark's distracting. Well, Betsy, is that on yours too? Mine is like that because I got it from from them before it was published. I got it from Riley Blake before they published it. Okay, so I have both of the thread ends right here, the old and the new. All right, this is how I do this, y'all. Put this up just a little bit. I put them together. I just give them a little twist with my finger. So they're like a candy cane twist. Okay, let me move that. That's annoying. I don't know if I can get that off. It's kind of a glare. It says I Heart Machine Embroidery. I got that. Mark it. Okay, so I'm going to twist this up. Now, I'm going to put this together into a big loop. Let me get, a lot of you ask me, how do you do that? We're going to get real close here. You can look and see where I need a manicure, okay? So I just put this one up and hold it with my thumb and forefinger, okay? Just right on top. I just cross them over and let them make a loop. And then I take the tails and I put it behind that big loop. Put it behind. Now I'm going to reach through and grab those tails and just make a knot. That's all I'm doing. So I have one tiny little knot. And then what I do is I throw it up on top of the machine. I like my thread to go through this little thread guide. This is actually for bobbins, but it makes me happy to do that. And then what I do is I reach into the needle and I grab the thread and I unthread the needle and pull it toward me until the knot comes all the way through. Okay. And then I just cut it off right there. That's how I do that. That's how they do it in industry. So, okay. Hot Quilter. She says, there are 800 people watching. There should be 800 thumbs up. Hot Quilter, bless your heart. You're so sweet. I appreciate that. But sweetheart, a lot of people are watching on their TVs. And sometimes on your TV, you can grab your channel remote and hit your TV remote and hit the channel up button. That works. I don't know if it works on a Fire TV. I know there's other things you can do on a Roku. And I know that's just too much trouble. Also, some people are watching on their phone and their TV. Because when I say, hey guys, there's a shirt or there's a product that they want, they know they need to go get it. So that might be the same person and they've already done it. So you guys are so, I appreciate my cheerleaders. I do. But let's have some grace, okay? All right. So I'm going to thread this needle. Is there goop on there? There would not be goop on my needle. What am I looking at? No, there's not goop on my needle. Okay, I'm going to do it again. It's a reflection on my needle. Okie dokie. I have a dime pre-wound bobbin in here. Let me show you guys what that looks like. For those of you who are going to say, what kind of bobbin do you have? It's a dime pre-wound. Okay, I love these. They fill up nice and big. And some of you are driving to work. That's right. Don't you be doing you do the like when you get to work or afterwards. Let's see. You got a shirt. Good. Let's see. Am I going to join in Belle's quilt blocks? Oh, that's Quilt Watch. Okay. That's not to me. I won't pay attention to that then. Well, hello. We've got, thank you for joining us, Sandra, from around the planet. I just love that. Thank you. All righty. That's what I love about the internet. Isn't that great? We got folks from all over. Let me get this in here. So I didn't get scolded too badly by my repair guy who said, you know, I keep the machine pretty clean, but there was some stuff in there that I couldn't get to with my tools or lack thereof. All right, so I did not do my crosshair, so I know exactly where to put my fabric. But there is a crosshair on here for trimming, and that's the very last stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the needle plus minus, and I'm going to go backwards one stitch. There's that crosshair. Let me show you. This is how you figure that out, okay? We're going to make it do something cool. So here we go. There's our cross stitch, all right? So I'm just going to stitch that right now and let it do its thing so I know where to put my fabric. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Some people can rethread just as quick, yeah. Oh, did you, Sharon? Look at this. You watched. I wanted to watch, but I had company. You won a year's membership with Angela Wolf. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Good for you. That's wonderful. Okay, so this didn't catch real good, but I can see where to put my fabric now. Okay. So what do I do with my background fabric? Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to fold it in half. Get this going like this. And then I'm going to fold this in half again. So the blocks are 6.5. My square is 8.5. The pattern tells you to cut for 6.5 by 6.5 inch block and 11 by 15 rectangle of fabric. That's a bit much in my book, but I'm not going to do that. That's for people who need to hoop the whole thing, and I don't have to. So I'm going to put the fabric in 1/4 of the frame hoop. I'm going to drop it down and get it fairly straight along that last trim line. That's that centering line. Okay. It looks a little crooked. I will straighten it out, but I know for a fact it's going to work. There we go. So now I'm ready. And finished. Okay. All right, we're ready. So here is the outline of my little moon. Awesome. So there's my placement line. And I'm really lazy. I didn't pre-cut my fabrics. I'm going to pop this on here. Now, this is not the exact same fabric as what's in the kit, but that's okay because it is the same color value as what's in the original pattern, not the kit. This is the fabric from the kit, my bad. It's the same value of what's there. Is this the, okay. So now this is going to go around twice. Received your Prim kit yesterday. What size am I working on? Diana, I'm working on the 6x10 wall hanging. Okay. Okay. So now I have got that double line. Okay. And I'm just going to trim around it. Let's bring you down here. This is the lazy man's way. That's actually the old school way of doing machine embroidery. Let's see. I have a pair of double curved embroidery scissors. If you are right-handed, you want to cut clockwise so that the lower blade of the scissor cuts closest to the stitches. Okay. If you make a boo-boo, if you're left-handed, go counterclockwise, and I'm assuming you're using left-handed scissors. If you make a boo-boo and accidentally cut into the fabric or the thread stitch, the stitches, don't worry about that. It'll be covered up by the final stitch, the final decorative stitch. But the first thing we're doing is getting all of our applique on right now. Oh, I can hear Keith playing with the squeaky toy with the dog. Dottie's doing so good, y'all. My goodness. There. So there's fabric W. Uh-oh, you guys aren't watching me. I'm sorry. I had you on the wrong. Sorry about that. My bad. Okay. I'd tell Betty Boop, why didn't you text me? But her texting finger is in op right now. Gonna have to use that speech. Yep. Sorry about that, Connie. Yeah, you were supposed to be able to see me. I wasn't doing it right. Okay, here is the this is the vase for the flowers. Broke a needle on your 10 needle yesterday and can't find the tip that broke off. Machine worked fine. Yes, but you're worried about it. So I don't believe, so the thing about breaking a needle on the 10 needles, okay, so here's the cool thing about 10 needle. Hold on, let me show you why you don't have to be as worried about it. So on these machines, your needle hole is that big flat piece, that big gap right there, right? And that is to allow for a zigzag stitch to occur, a wide zigzag. So if the needle breaks off down inside, it can, on these flatbed machines, any one of them that, allows a zigzag, it can get dropped down in there because the gap is big enough for that to happen. On a single needle machine, or a multi-needle, you're actually using a teeny tiny little hole in that needle plate, right? And 9 times out of 10, 9.9, times out of 10, when that needle breaks, it breaks when it's hitting something on the top. So if it breaks, it popped off and went somewhere else. That's why I always wear at least readers when I'm doing the multi-needle and I've got my face down there. If it's running, I'll put glasses on because that needle's going to hit and bounce. So you got to be kind of careful about that. All right. So now this next one, I need to look at my instructions. All right, this next one, where'd it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? You guys can see it on the screen. I can't see the actual thing of it. Let me take that off because I can't scroll it if it's not there. Let me remove that. I need to see, we've got a fabric to put down first, right? Pam, you're going to go to the sewing studio, check in on my classes. We're going to have so much fun. I'm changing up the class just a tiny bit, so hopefully everybody enjoys it. All righty. Hold on, you guys. There we go. Let me open this up. Okay, so I need to take fabric Q over that. That is this one. All right, I'm going to take fabric Q, and it is directional, so kind of pay attention. If you got the kit, the fabric's directional. I'm going to put that down on here. And it's going to do a placement line now. It's expecting me to put a square down, and I put down this whole big chunk because that's how I roll. All right, and now it's going to do a placement line to put down another fabric on top of that. Okay, so next stitch, it's not going to do a tack down. It's going to do a placement line for the next fabric. All right. And now I need to take fabric J, okay, and I'm going to put that right on it. It says align fabric with the bottom edge of the placement stitch with the excess fabric to the top. So that's like this, okay. Align it with the bottom edge of the placement stitch. All right, just like that, okay. And now I'm going to, we're going to do this again. And now it's going to do, I think that's right. Oh, I think I messed that up. I know I messed that up. I know I messed that up. Let me do this. Got it backwards, y'all. Okay. I got that backwards. Let me see here. I'm going to bring you down just a little bit. I'm going to clip this out. I love machine embroidery because it's so forgiving. So I'm just going to clip this out. That's all I'm doing, clip it out. I get this is like paper piecing, and I gets my head turned around. So I'm going to trim off that piece of fabric again. All right. And that's okay. And I've got to get my head around this correctly. I thought I did that right. It's going to stitch. Let me go back one. All right. It needs to be able to fold over on that placement line. So let me put this up here. I'm going to do this one more time. Let's see if I get it right now. Oops. It's going to move. Okay. All right. So now it's going to do that line again. Now I need to take this and fold it back just like that. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So now the fabric you got in the kit has a stripe for this, and it looks beautiful. It's super cute, but it'll probably bother some of you if your stripes aren't straight. Now it's going to do the tack down for all of this, and I think I had wanted to do a little taping, and I don't have any tape nearby me. Okay. I'm going to tape. Okay. There we go. I got to run and find my tape dispenser. I think it's over on my 10 needle. Hold on a second. Pretty sure it is. I need 2 of them. I don't know why I don't have 2 of them. Here it is. Yes. And the main reason I'm going to tape this down, even though it's nice and flat right now, is because I've got a fold there that makes me nervous. So I'm going to put this right here. Where's the end of that? Right there. There. Now that fold is nice and secure. I don't have to worry about the foot getting up under it. So there's the end of that stitch. I'll tape that right there. Okay, now I'm happy. So now let's do this. Oh yeah, we'd had a mess for sure. I could just feel it already. You know, my fingers are not near the needle. When it comes my way, I pull my hand out of the way. It's going to go around twice. Perfect. Pam, thank you so much for your super sticker, darling. That's very thoughtful. I appreciate that very much. You can get more stabilizer and thread, right? Thank you. You're very generous. I appreciate that. Okay, let's take a look at how we're going to trim here. Whenever you remove the hoop to do some trimming, you always want to put it on a firm, flat surface. Y'all do not do this. I see this all the time in the classes that I teach, okay? Don't do this, because as you're working on it, you can either, one, if you've got tear away like I do, you can tear this stabilizer, and now you might have something wrong. But you can change what's called, you can also drop your scissors. Now I had the word in my head and then I didn't. Hold on a second here. The registration. And the registration, I'm seeing new comments, Donna. I'm also seeing stars since I just bent down to get my scissors. So the registration is to make sure that, like, on the final stitches for this, they're actually going to cover where they're supposed to, and they are not off. You can create play, you know, a little droopiness or bagginess in your hoop if you do not trim on a firm, flat surface. That is so important, you guys. Please do not do your hoop work with your hoop resting on the edge of the table. It's really important if you're doing something like a Mickey Mouse design or something like that, or, you know, anything that looks cartoony, and that black line around your applique or your embroidery has to be in a specific spot. If that's off, it won't look right and you'll be disappointed. And there's not much you can do to fix it. There we go. That looks really good. There's my little hoop. My little house. That turned out nice, right? Okay, and then next we have the vase. We're going to placement line for that. I do not have any batting behind this at all, but the back of the fabric has SF101 on the back of it, okay? And the vase is fabric NN in the kit. The kit came labeled like this from Two Chicks Quilting, okay? I hope this is inspiring you guys to get out your embroidery machines and do something. I'm just going to lay that right there on there like that. Yeah. But also on a multi-needle, if you have a broken needle, with that tubular frame, you can really get in there and take a look and see what's going on. There's nowhere really for that needle to hide. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Once you get in there and do an inspection, and you don't see it, I wouldn't worry about it a whole lot unless you're running around barefoot. That might be a thing. You know what? That bubbled, and I don't like it. I should have taped it down, and I didn't, and it bubbled. So I'm going to undo that. Let me show you how I do that. So here's another beautiful thing about machine embroidery. Okay, so I'm going to cut this right on the cut line and get it out of there. Okay. Now, this isn't ruined. Okay. If you ever make a mistake like this, it's not ruined. I'm going to get in here and create a cut. I'm just going to pull that away if I can, but create a cut and get in there and take that out. It's too poofy. I didn't have it flat. This is why people put their fingers on the machine to smooth out the fabric. I'd rather do this all day long than get that needle stuck in my finger. Okay. I should have taped it. It's my fault, of course. There. Okay. Let me get the extra little threads. If they're going to be in there, they can be in the middle because they're going to be covered and I don't care. All right. Let me go back a stitch on my needle plus minus. And I'm going to put this here again. All right. And I'm going to tape it. You will never notice the difference. The beauty of machine embroidery, another one, is that you get do-overs, which is really cool, and nobody knows but you and me. You can use a glue stick inside the area too. You're absolutely right, Donna. Yep, you can do that. And here's that. So I use a 505 glue stick. You can use a regular Elmer's glue stick. Let me pull this up. You can do this to put it all in there. Okay, that'll dry clear. Yep, lots of tips and tricks. Easy stuff to fix things. All right, let's do it again. Let me see here. And even if on some of these, now the reason I actually took that out was because it was puffy and I didn't want that bulk under there. Okay, that's the only reason I took that out. If you accidentally stitch down the wrong fabric, you can just stitch you don't have to take it out. You can just stitch down the right fabric right on top of it. There we go, that's better. Okay. All righty. Yeah, Maureen, she says, it's good to see how mistakes can be fixed. That's all, y'all, that's my channel here. Oh my goodness. Chris Christensen, thank you so much for your super sticker. Oh my goodness, how generous. Thank you so much. You are very thoughtful. I appreciate that. Yeah. Cheap class, right? For an embroidery class. Thank you so much, sweetie. All right, so now I can just peel up this tape. I know a lot of you have made mistakes like that before, and it's okay. Uh-oh, our hour is up. Let me tap that and tell it to stop bugging me. Oh. So now my vase for my flowers is nice and smooth. No more puffies. When things like that happen, you guys, I don't want you to feel like your project's ruined, because it's not. You just, you can take it out pretty quickly, or you can just cover it again. Like a new coat of paint, we're only using fabric. Okay. Get my fuzzies out of there so my fuzzies don't stick outside of my final stitch. All right. You learned a lot today. Well, good, Nita. I'm glad. I appreciate that. All right. So next, y'all, if the chat's not moving, that's a YouTube thing. Next is the outside of the house line, and I need to do a thread change for that. This is where you learn something new. So, Pearl, well, you're welcome. She says, thank you. You're more than welcome. First thread color that matters is this one, and that's around the outside of the house. So the quick change of the thread colors. How I do this. Bye, you guys. Have a great week. Bye, Debbie. Have a great day. I was going to say have a great weekend, but it's not Friday, is it? Today is Thursday, which is trash day. So I get to empty all my trash cans out today in my sewing room, which I always love that. I don't know why that makes me happy, but it does. Yay. I put a really good post on the Facebook group. We have a private Facebook group. Wendy Gratz had put out years ago on how she decluttered her sewing room. And so that was neat. Well, Barbara, thank you. All right. So now we're going to do the final outer stitch on that house. And I'm going to let you guys go about your day now. So anyway. Oh, Darla's feeling so much better. Let me get these little threads that are hanging low. I don't want them sticking out. I got to go to the dentist today. It always seems like December is the big month for appointments, right? You got to get in under the deductible. So, all right. So you guys, I will see you in the morning. We're going to have giveaway Friday. I can't wait. That'll be a lot of fun. And I hope you have an amazing day stitching. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, a like when you are able to safely do that. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Y'all go sew something. Bye.